On this week's Throwdown, we have Kyle, the new hire Habdo, versus Kyle, the old man Ruth.
We've got rowing and everyone's favorite movement.
My cheeks are cramping.
See, faces get tired.
Yeah, it does. I don't smile that much.
We've got rowing and double dumbbell box step overs.
We release these workouts right here on YouTube. I just spit everywhere at 1 p.m.
Before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're on our road to 35K subscribers. And when we hit that milestone, we're going to give away a Black Zinc Rogue 2.0 barbell. Let us know your strategy for this workout in the comments below. That comment is what's going to enter you into the giveaway. Once we reach that 35,000 subscriber milestone, we'll use a random YouTube comment generator on one of these videos where we promoted the giveaway to draw a worldwide winner for that bar. So all you got to do is be subscribed and comment below to enter.
This week's workout for time, 40 cal row, 30 dumbbell box step overs, 30 cal row, 20 dumbbell box step overs, 20 cal row, 10 dumbbell box step overs, finishing with 10 cal row and 5 dumbbell box step overs.
For a warm-up, movement standards, and the scaled workout, check out the description down below.
This week we have two Kyle athletes who are both training think tank coaches. Kyle's the new coach, Habdo. Kyle Ruth
Which
is
Kyle?
the longest standing coach. Kyle Ruth is a Masters near games qualifier. He was in the top 20 last year. Kyle Habdo kind of blends between intermediate and RX athlete. For some context on who you're watching.
The Open is 8 weeks away, and we just did 2 podcasts back-to-back for you on the season changes and how to train for each of the divisions in the Open. So if you're interested, check out our YouTube channel for those.
Speaking of the Open, if you're interested in that, join the design.
Chris, I'm done. I retire. That's all that I needed.
So we have an online training program called The Design. Right now we're getting ready for the Open. Check us out, trainingthinktank.com/DSGN.
Let's see some strategies.
First off, I've spent a ton of time rowing for calories. I know I'm gonna try and hit around the 1,300 mark for all the rounds. May bump it up for the last 2 rounds, depending on how I'm feeling. Box step overs have perennially been one of my worst movements in the entire sport. It seems that every time I'm doing a throwdown demo, I'm doing box step overs. So my plan here is just to hit big sets because I need to challenge myself a little bit and see if I've worked on them. I need to see if my capacity's improved there. In terms of psychological strategy, I'm gonna come out like a bat out of hell and try and just break Kyle off right at the beginning. So he's scared and says, I don't wanna chase him. Done.
What does perennial mean?
I don't even know. Annual, perennial, I don't know. What type of plant comes back every year?
Strategy, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna let Kyle go because he's probably just gonna try to pull me into his game plan and I can't do that. So I'm gonna try to row around 1,300, maybe 1,250 cals per hour. Maybe push at the end if I have something left. And then the box step-ups are not my strong suit, so I'm gonna try to transition fast from the rower to the box step-ups, do a couple reps, take a rest, and then probably do like a descending rep scheme and see how that works out for me.
In-N-Out burger or Whataburger?
I've never had Whataburger, and I've only had In-N-Out once, so I guess In-N-Out.
Brr, wrong answer.
So shout out to Kyle Habdo for stepping up and throwing himself into a pretty tough throwdown demo on his first week of working
Yeah,
here.
we originally tried to design these so that way we could have a good versus together, and we had to back
Are
out.
we calling someone out?
No, we
Okay.
don't need to publicly call anybody out.
Yeah, Mia said, hey, we need people. And I'm like, I'm not doing this against Mia, that's for sure. Because, I mean, you're going at like a little step stool box.
Oh, no, don't do it to Mia today. Not today.
Okay, sorry.
Mia,
Bad mood. Totally kidding, I shouldn't have. All right, so the first 40 cals, Kyle said he's going to go out hot. He averaged 1,350.
Is that hot?
I don't think that's...
It's like lukewarm.
Yeah, it's probably a good strategy for where his box step overs are. I will say that probably like a Travis or someone that's really good in the rower is going to be like 1,600 or something like that for the first
Which
40.
ends up being a lot faster.
Yeah, it's a
overall.
big difference for sure.
What do you think about the like stroke strategy? Habdo on the left is kind of like continuous and smooth, and Kyle Ruth on the right has that like pause at the knee. I'm sure that a rower would say that that's non-optimal.
I'm not a professional rower, but I do know that
You're not.
I'm decent at rowing because I'm tall, but I know that the return, you're supposed to keep constant tension on the
flywheel or
the cable chain. Yeah, chain, that's the word. And I think that like drop down and scoop is not ideal.
Yeah, his stroke rate is so slow that it seems like even though he does that, there's still constant tension, so you don't get the like wobble and loose thing, but
Right.
it still seems. I've seen a lot. I remember Jason Kalipa specifically did that
He
back
would
in the
rip
day.
it, though, when he
and
came back.
He was an amazing rower on the C2. It wouldn't translate on the water, but we're not on the water.
Well, that's the thing. People ask about technique, and I'm sure there are some that probably make more sense even on the C2 machine. But to me, I'm still looking at the metrics. So, like, what's your row pace, and then also how does it make you feel? And for Kyle, he's talked about slowing his stroke rate down to help him. And obviously, he does a pretty good job of staying consistent throughout a workout.
So 152, 154, they both held between like 1300 and 1350 that whole time. So pretty good pace. I think elites can probably hold like I said, can hold pretty substantially faster. And now I think the box step overs, though, is going to be a bigger separator for most people.
Yeah, you can see the two different techniques here. Kyle Habdo is doing a lateral crossover step, whereas Kyle Ruth is doing kind of a straight on or maybe like a 45-degree step with just an opposite leg each time.
Yeah. The other thing you can look at, Habdo said right before this that he kind of struggles with step-ups, and if you look at his torso angle when he's over the box, he's basically like leaned over almost at 90 degrees perpendicular to the ground, and he's got a little bit of arm bend to try to keep the dumbbells off the box, whereas Kyle Ruth stays a little bit taller as he's doing that, which I think is probably more efficient for like respiration and just staying, less blown up.
I personally like the lower strategy for myself. I know it's different because the box is shorter and I'm tall.
I was kidding, I'm sorry.
For me, I think it helps relax my arms and my grip more, which is what blows up on step overs.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not stepping up as high. Even though Max did program 24-inch box step ups for me and they were still easy.
Yeah. The other thing to note, I'm going to ignore that, is Kyle Ruth does the little wrap the grip underneath the dumbbell to take some grip tension off. Could eventually become a non-common or an uncommon movement clause where they stop allowing people to do that. But for the time being, it could really save your grip pretty substantially just having that wrapped around. It's almost like giving yourself an extra hook grip or something.
Everyone that's used it says it helps tremendously. I actually haven't tried it on box step overs, but I've done it on like a kettlebell deadlift, and it almost feels like you're cheating, which honestly I think that you are, and CrossFit should outlaw that. So, and maybe they will. The one thing that I was going to mention with these, you can see the difference in the hinge, right? But I think a lot of that too is single leg strength and positions with your hip and your ankle. So Kyle's hip is probably a little bit more. Kyle Ruth. Gosh, I keep saying Kyle. Kyle Ruth had a deeper in range with his hip, and that probably allowed him to stay more upright. But he's also worked on this a ton. I know he's doing a lot of knees over toes work too. If you guys haven't seen that, basically it's a movement and mobility program, and so that's helped him with those positions.
So Habdo on his return, watch his hands. He pulls and then he relaxes his hand on the way back. I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
I don't know.
grip's kind of
Yeah.
blown up at this point. I've seen people do mixed grip or underhand grip, just pretty much anything to get your hands to stop being blown up. Ruth went 20-10 on the dumbbell box step overs.
Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty
super
big
good.
sets.
Yeah.
And Habdo went 6-8, 6-5-5. Is that an 8? My eyes aren't.
Yeah,
great.
no, it's 6,
Okay.
6, 6, 8, 6, 5, 5.
Yeah, so those
little
more breaks
random.
ended up taking an additional almost 40 seconds from where Kyle Ruth is. So you could see the step overs might even be if you can go a little bit slower on the row and be able to do all of your box step overs unbroken, you might be able to take more time off than trying to speed up the row pace and take methodical breaks.
Yeah, actually, Kyle Habdo had basically the same or slightly faster row paces in the middle of the workout than Kyle Ruth. But again, like Max said, Kyle Ruth was faster on the box, which you can lose a ton of time if you're taking 4 or 5 breaks. But I do think that some people are just going to have to be able to stay moving in the workout.
Yeah, this strategy too. So Kyle Ruth has the full rotation, stop on the other side. If you can get a cycle strategy where your top leg is coming off, touching the ground and going back up, and you can cycle them a little faster, you're also just putting less time under tension on your grip. Because it does seem like grip becomes the primary limitation in a workout that's paired of dumbbell step overs and rowing back and forth, because it's grip and grip.
Usually with any movement, I tend to find the slow and continuous way to do them. But I found with this one, it's just better to sprint and rest.
Yeah.
Sprint
Yeah.
and rest. Because if you're holding onto the dumbbells too much, then you're really going to blow up.
I was going to say, Mia, that you actually have a really good strategy with this, and you brought that up. But
Oh, look at that. You got a compliment.
you are someone that as soon as you touch the ground, you're basically hitting your foot and then stepping right back. And that just seems to be way faster and more efficient.
So Habdo is doing the step that I normally do, which is the outside leg coming up, and that allows, when you come down, we'll wait till he picks it up and you can see, because I'm going to say this backwards, but when you come down, the foot that comes down is facing the box, and your weight is already ready to go back towards the box.
Yeah.
Whereas Kyle Ruth, he has to like reshift his weight that way, and I know that he's tried to do the outside leg step over, and he says it doesn't work for him. So it's, it might not work for you, but I find it more efficient.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on just hip mobility and hip architecture. If you're like Kyle Ruth is a very linearly explosive athlete. He's a good sprinter. He's a good jumper. He has good tight hips that are used for kicking and swimming. So I think going face on allows that to happen. Whereas if you kind of do that crossover step, I think you need a little bit more like hip internal rotation and adduction to cross over your own foot. So it could be something that you just have to play with relative to your own anatomy and what feels comfortable and fast for you.
But that does risk the hinge, and that's
Yeah,
kind of what I
yeah.
meant in the last time, where Kyle's face on, he's able to get that deeper in-range hip flexion, but he's not crossing over, forcing that, let's call it femur internal rotation, where you have to hinge over to be able to step on the box like Kyle Habdo's doing.
Yeah.
Something I would do strategy-wise, because this isn't a standard against it, is I would always put my dumbbells back onto the box when I'm resting and in between rounds versus putting it on the ground.
Yeah, save yourself a deadlift each set.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. So I've actually seen people do what Kyle Ruth just did, where he kind of basically just jumped off, face off, and then he only did it for one rep, but I'm not a big fan of that. Just seems unsafe.
We already mentioned it, but I think grip will become a major limiting factor for some. That definitely would be the limiting factor for me. Like just box step ups by themselves blow my grip up, but now when you're comboing it with having to pull in the rower, so that's another thing for people to think about, and maybe that is why you take some short rests on the box step ups so that you can continue to pull hard on the row.
All right, so Kyle Ruth just finished up the 10 box step overs, so he's got 10 cal row, 5 step overs. So this is really where, if you have it, where a sprint finish is really, really beneficial.
Yeah, you could probably save 20 seconds on the last 10 and 5 just by maybe ramping up for a male 16 or 1700,
Yeah.
for a female maybe 12 to 1300, and then going right to your dumbbells.
Yeah, Ruth kept it pretty steady here. His row pace started at 1350, and then it was 1150, 1100, 1150 to finish. So I think maybe if this were like an open style workout, say go 1350, 1150, 1150, and then try to go 1600 or something like that to finish, because at that point basically you're getting off the rower and you only have 5 reps to do.
Yeah.
So if you're a little blown up, you can figure out how to get it done.
And you're racing against another 100,000 people. So, a few seconds, like even 3 or 4 seconds here, may be 100 spots, and then
Yeah.
obviously more could be 1,000 or 2,000 spots, and that's something you have to think about.
Yeah, that is very, very true, especially on 1RM lifts.
So Kyle finishes at 940, or Kyle Ruth.
Did he just ghost drop the dumbbells
Yeah.
from his hips?
No, he didn't. He put them down.
Okay.
It was kind of a.
He definitely put them down. I was there watching. I was like, don't drop it, don't drop it.
He ran away though. No longer in the screen.
He's
Oh,
back.
there he is.
Oh, look at him. Oh, I thought he was coming to. Is this cheering on your partner?
He was there for emotional support.
Good, good. All right, so we got Kyle Habdo finishing up now, and same thing here. So he kept pretty steady row paces, 1300 to start, so a little bit slower, and then maintained 1200, 1100, and 1100 on this last set. So kind of gives you a framework for if you're going to finish in the, 9:30 to 10:50 time frame. That's kind of what the row pace is going to be, and then
He did increase his stroke rate there. I don't know if it doesn't look like it made a quicker pace, but there was a kick.
Yeah. Well, that's also the thing. We're
Yeah.
talking about having a kick,
Find
but
a
maybe
way.
you can't.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's just your max effort at that point. But that's the thought that you
For
should try to
sure.
kick towards the end.
There was a kick effort.
all right,
And
And a big finish. Look at that face. Good job, man.
good job,
know
Kyle.
that's hurt.
there it is. 940, 1052. Well done, Kyle and Kyle. Project P, do your thing.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known. You know what I'm saying? Pata.